So welcome everyone to the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field in British Columbia. And today we have a really special program. So I actually was looking for the date. I hope you can hear me better now. Someone told me there was an echo when I don't use a headset. So I was looking for the exact date, but I think and I couldn't find it today, but I think it was at the end of May that Master Sha and the Tao Academy appointed or named the Tao Hands Practitioners of the Year. And this year they had, I think, 6 or 7 practitioners. So we're very excited because one of them is our very own Dr. Monique Giard. She was named Tao Hands Practitioner of the Year Health Professional. And tonight we have invited a second Tao Hands Practitioner of the Year, and that's Dr. Dheeraj Huria from India. Tao Hands is an extraordinary program that Master Sha created. His very first healer program was created in 2003. It was literally created within months of becoming a divine channel. So Master Sha became a divine channel in August, and I think by October, he had started already creating what were then called power healers. And we were able to offer a power healer service for people, for their physical health, only for the physical health. Yeah, only for the physical body, not the emotional body, not the mental body, and not the spiritual body. And I don't remember how many, but it was over 100 people registered for that program. And then shortly after that, that program had 10 layers. There were 10 layers to this program. And Master Sha actually created, I think he definitely created the first 4. I don't believe he created the 5th layer. So the second layer was Soul Healer. And then the next layer was the Master Healer of San San Jolyo Bayawu, the sacred mantra. And then the 4th layer, the third was the Master Healer of Sha's Golden Healing Ball. And then the 4th layer was Master Healer of San San Jolyo Bayawu. And then after that, Master Sha was uplifted. And so then he uplifted the program. And he has been doing this now for, 18 years. 18 years he has been uplifting the practitioner programs, giving the practitioners, I would say, power that is close to what he has. It's never, no one's ever going to be able to actually probably catch up with Master Sha, but he gives people extraordinary power. So we are currently, Master Sha is currently offering the Tao Hands Practitioner Program. And this program is, we have about 6,000 practitioners around the world. And let me, I want to share my screen with you and tell you about this program. And let's see what's happening here. Can you see the slides, but you cannot see the slideshow, right? I think that's what happened. Let's see if that works. Okay. So Tao Hands, let me tell you a little bit about the Tao Hands. Where does Tao Hands get the power from? And tonight you'll get to experience the power. We will be choosing at least one demo, one person to receive a Tao Hands from our 3 special guests. So we have with us, I mentioned already, Monique Giard, Dr. Monique Giard, who's a clinical counselor and EMDR therapist in British Columbia. We have Diraj Huria, who has actually served for over 20 years with Reiki, yoga, Reiki, pranic healing, the what's it called? Past life regression, and now with Tao Hands. And we have a brand new Tao Hands healer, someone who became a Tao Hands practitioner just literally 2 months ago. And she's going to share two of her stories. So where does the power from Tao Healing Hands come from? Well, to understand that, we have to understand a little bit, what do we mean by the Tao? So in Master Sha's teachings, he is referring to the Tao that is referenced in Lao Tzu's book, the Tao Te Ching. And the Tao Te Ching is the second most widely read book in the world. It is read by a cross-section of the population. The first most read book is the Bible. And people read the Tao Te Ching for personal healing, but they follow it to align with the source, to align with the ultimate creator that has created heaven, Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. Why? Because if you can align with the universe, you will be in that flow. That flow means you will be flourishing in all aspects of life. So the Tao is the ultimate creator, cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched, cannot really be explained by words or comprehended by thoughts. It has no shape, no image, no time, no space. But the Tao carries a source field of source love, forgiveness, compassion, and light, source frequency and vibration. And it is this field that a Tao Hands practitioner receives. And it is this field that the Tao Hands practitioner activates, calls upon it in order to help someone to transform. So you're going to hear from Monique. She's working with people who have challenges in their lives. And some of them are, some of the emotional challenges are precipitated by physical, and some of them are imbalances created by trauma and other challenging circumstances. What does she call on? She calls on this Tao source field that she carries within her. So Tao is the universal principles and law. And why this is significant is because in order to transform an emotional imbalance, a physical imbalance, a mental imbalance, a spiritual imbalance, you need a power that is greater than the laws that are at play in the world, on Mother Earth and in heaven. And those laws are yin yang. Those laws are the 5 elements. Those laws are the laws of Shen, Qi, Jing. So I don't want to focus too much on this because we could spend literally a weekend talking about this. But know that the power of the source is greater than even these universal laws that basically govern how the universe is created, how it works, and when something goes wrong, how do we fix it? And you can actually read about this in Tao Science. So the universal law of Yin Yang says everything, everyone and everything has 2 natures, fire nature, water nature. Yang is the fire nature. This is that energy from heaven. It's hot, it's heat, it's exciting. Water nature, cold, calming. So Mother Earth, you connect with Mother Earth through the bottom of your feet. You connect to heaven through the crown chakra, and you connect with heaven. And these energies come into us, and it's quite powerful. Okay, 5 elements basically says that we can categorize our organs, systems, cell units, parts of the body, tissues, body fluids, sense organs, sight, taste, speech, smell, hearing, emotional imbalances, anger, depression, worry, grief, fear, and positive emotions, patience, joy, love, compassion, courage, calmness, you can adjust those based on the 5 elements theory. So the 5 elements say that we are made up of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And when one is out of balance, all 5 are out of balance. So we need to figure out which is out of balance and then bring all 5 back into balance. So you can bring the body back into balance. An acupuncturist will take your pulses. They take different pulses, 2 different pulses on the wrist. They look at your tongue. They may look at your ears. Recently, I saw an acupuncturist, looked at my ears, and they can read, where are the imbalances? Where is there too much yang energy? Where is there not enough yin energy? Through acupuncture, through herbs, they can adjust so that you can bring you back into balance. We do this a different way. So the universal law of Shen Qi Jing was created by, explained by Dr. and Master Jing and also Dr. Rulin Shu, a quantum physicist. The universal law of Shen Qi Jing brings together Tao wisdom and quantum physics. And it basically answers the question, what is everyone and everything made of? And the answer that is given by the law of Shen Qi Jing and by Tao science is that everyone and everything is made up of Shen, Qi, and Jing. Shen is soul, heart, mind. Qi is energy. Jing is matter. In Tao science, soul is information. In spirituality, soul is spirit. In Tao science, information has 3 aspects. It is the content of the information, which is the soul. Here it says the warehouse of information. It is the receiver of information, which is the heart, the core of life. And it is the processor of information, which is consciousness. It is also energy, which is the mover of information, which enables us to work, to get things accomplished. And it is matter, which is the reality that we perceive, we see, we touch, we taste, we smell. So this, what you see on the far right under Tao science, you see a number of arrows pointing down. This is an information pathway. In order to create transformation, information needs to travel from the warehouse of information, which is in the invisible world, to the heart, still somewhat invisible because we're talking about the spiritual heart, the core of life, not the physical heart. And it goes to the mind, which is the processor. The mind begins, what happened here? So the mind begins the process of creating in form the idea. So if the idea is a Tao Hands practitioner, then it begins to adjust the frequency, the vibration, so that ultimately the person who is going to be the Tao Hands practitioner has the frequency and the vibration, and they're able to manifest the transformation. What Master Sha does when he creates a Tao Hands practitioner is he transmits a golden light ball that is in fact the Shen Qi Jing of a Tao Hands practitioner. It has all of the information of a Tao Hands practitioner. It has the soul, the spirit, the heart, the core of life. It has the mind, the consciousness of a Tao Hands practitioner. It has the frequency and the vibration. The recipient turns on this golden light ball. And when they do that, they're able to transmit that frequency to another person and transform the messages that the other person is holding that are creating challenges in their lives. So in one sentence, what Tao Hands does is Tao Hands. The one sentence secrets for Tao Hands on healing and life transformation is we apply Tao Hands to heal and transform the soul and heart first, then healing of all of life, including physical health, mental health, emotional health, relationships, finances, and the spiritual journey will follow. You're going to hear from Monique about what happens for her when she works with clients. They have relationship challenges. They have mental health challenges. You're going to hear from D-Raj about one or two of his stories of transformation. You're going to hear from Gina, relationship transformations and health transformations that are extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Yeah. Okay, so Tao Hands are a source light hands, which are invisible to the normal eye, but they are visible to spiritual or third eye. You know, we have with us today Monique, we have also Sarah Baker and Mark Saparlo. All three of them have very advanced third eyes. So I will ask them to show you, to share with you, not show you, to share with you what they see when we do the demo. What do their Tao hands look like? What does the field? It's a field. It's not a physical hand. It's a field. What does that field look like? So what I'm going to do now is we're going to stop this, and I'm going to stop sharing. Yep. And I'm going to invite Dr. Monique Giard. So I've had the great honor of getting to know Monique over the last 3 years that I've been here in British Columbia. And when I met her, she was, this was her work, 40 hours a week or however long she was working, but this was her daily task, was working with clients, serving clients in British Columbia. And when I met her was during the time that we were helping people who were divine healing hands upgrade to Tao hands. And I spoke with her, asking her if she was considering introducing Tao hands. And she informed me at that time that it's not possible to bring Tao hands into a professional psychotherapy setting. But what happened is Monique has an open third eye. And we had a series of workshops. And in those workshops, I remember talking with her, and I said to her, use your third eye. See what is happening for your clients. Because, you know, part of what we do when we work with a client, we follow up. This is part of what we do. We follow up to see how they're doing, what their experience is. So I asked her, you know, if follow up, and again, that's not part of the standard clinical psychotherapy model. But I remember saying to her, you know, use your third eye, see what's happening for the client, check with heaven. When you have an open direct soul communication channel, you can ask the soul world, what does this client need? What does the client need to hear? Because what they say is limited by their pain. But in order to transform that, you need higher level information. Where are you going to get that information? From the soul world. The soul world can give you that information. So she began to use her third eye, and she'll share with you what she saw when clients are in a deep emotional distress. And over the last 3 years, she has worked very hard to bring in Tao hands and to bring in practices, and has helped her clients transform very challenging situations. So I want to invite Monique to join us, talk a little bit about her journey to become a Tao of integrating Tao Hands into her clinical setting, and to share just one or two stories of of clients that have had extraordinary transformations. Welcome, Dr. Monique Giard. Welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Imena. Yes, it's true. In the beginning, I didn't know how I would incorporate Tao Hands. But when I realized how efficient it is, and some people may have seen the video how I use Tao Hands for my son, and how it helped me actually uh, to handle the situation. He was having a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, and it was very challenging. So when I realized if this is helping to that degree, my family, why would I not want to help my clients? And then cautiously, I contacted my association and cautiously, step by step. And when I realized how much transformation my clients were having, I couldn't hesitate anymore. And so I embraced the opportunity, and I saw incredible benefits. And one in particular that is mostly recent, and it really touches my heart because when we witness people, spiraling down into depression. And, this client came to my office crying and heavy with depression and crying spells. It came about from, during the pandemic, losing work. And it just broke my heart. But I knew I can help this person. And so the presenting issue was acute depression, anxiety, and on a sick leave because of that. And the person was really anxious going back to work and couldn't actually make the steps, couldn't take any steps towards going back to work. It was not even something my client would consider because of the severity of the depression. So right away, with all the teachings of Master Sha, boost the body, boost energy, stamina, vitality. I started right away, let's do the practice. And the person was so desperate, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. The very first session, let's do grounding, first soul house. And then I said, I'm a Tao Hands practitioner. I can see you're depleted. And my third eye can see, wow, the oil lamp was so small, and many organs in the body were suffering because of the depression, because of the anxiety. So I said, are you open to receiving a boost of energy? Yes, anything. So I connected with Tao. I had checked my pendulum. Yes, if you can help this person, Tao said yes. Pendulum said yes. I offer right away. And the person actually felt it. And the person, like the crying stopped. The person felt the heat in the body. I says, wow, this is great. And activate, do your practice every day. The person came back. I was seeing this person weekly. I was doing remote Tao Hands. The person came back. Wow. I've seen many therapists. I've had depression cycles in my life, but I already feel better. I'll do anything. And so I continued the practices, continued teaching, grounding, first soul house, and I kept offering. And in very short period of time, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of combining traditional psychotherapy and Tao Hands. It accelerates the healing. I was so happy for this person. And then in a very short period of time, the person was able to start making applications. This is a very, very smart person. And so boosting confidence, boosting self-esteem, continue boosting lower dantian, and all the transmissions between the session, the person was relieved from depression, feeling a stronger soul, heart, mind, body alignment. And the person got hired in a high profile national company all across Canada. And so it's like, wow. And it did not stop there because Tao source love, Tao light knows exactly where to go to heal at the soul level. It transformed other aspects in my client's life. It transformed relationships. And that increased the joy level. And so this is one client with Tao hands that has experienced transformation in the work and transformation of self-love, self-care, and relationship. And that's only one story. I have so many, so many examples and stories. If I can share one more, when people come to me and they're so desperate, they've been in a relationship for a long time, and something has triggered like a lot of anxiety. And we know with the pandemic, we know with what we're experiencing, it has the field, the vibrational field has been affected. So when people are open and I talk about Tao field, and this person in particular did not want to leave the relationship. The person was open. And I said, well, you need to increase your vibrational field. You need to feel connected with your own inner power and the higher power. And the person liked that, even though the person was not spiritual per se, but the person was open to the concept of uh, raising vibrational field because it's a concept in quantum physics. People understand the language. This was a scientist, a, a businessman. So I used a language that would relate to that person. And so we increase the vibrational field. Wow, wow, wow. What it did is the person became more in alignment and over time, really taking responsibility for what was going on that had created conflict at a deep level and to heal that and to heal the organs that were affected by the emotional outbursts. In the beginning, there was resistance to say, oh, it's about me. Yes, it's always about us and how we respond to the situation and taking responsibility for that. Wow. Transformation? Yes. Taking responsibility? Yes. More alignment? Yes. And the person was so amazed that when I presented the idea of tracing this card, Da Guan Shu, the person understood that forgiveness is important. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving the other, and forgiving the relationship for whatever has happened before. And the person started tracing and came back. I don't know what this is all about. I don't really understand, but it works. Why? Because it's Tao. It's invisible, no space, no time, but the power of Tao is unbelievable. So I don't know, but for me, joining and incorporating Tao hands in my practice has made a huge difference. And it really, really uh, touches my heart, particularly when people suffer so much. And, I hear not only once, I hear a lot that sometimes people say, I just don't want to live anymore. Well, there's a way out, and there's a way to regain that that joy within, reconnect with what once made you, what once brought joy in your life. Reconnect with that, and then reconnect with the pure love, the pure joy of Tao. So these are my stories, Jimena, and I
Thank
cannot thank
you.
Master Shah enough.
Yeah, thank you, Monique. Um, One of the things that you said to me recently is that what has happened now is that people are contacting you because they know that you are doing something different. And that what you're doing is not only different, but it's powerful. And so you now have more clients or more requests for sessions than you had before. And I want to stress, you touched on the power of the Tao. So many times, the situations that people come to us with are situations where they have tried, like your first client, you said, the client said to you, I've had bouts of depression at different times. I've worked with many therapists, many different modalities. And that's true. Probably 80 to 90% of the people that we work with will say to us that they've already had this issue for 10, 15, 20 years, that they've seen many different practitioners. The difference with Tao Hands is that the power comes from the source. It is the power of the ultimate creator. It is a field that has the source, the frequency and vibration of the source. It has the messages, positive, pure messages from the source. Those messages, that frequency and vibration comes in to our heart, our lungs, our liver, our spleen, our brain, our spinal column, any part of our physical being, comes into our heart chakra for our relationships. It comes into our lower abdomen for financial situations, and transforms the negative messages. So Monique, her clients have negative messages. Our clients have negative messages. All of us have negative messages. Tao Hands is able to transform the negative messages with positive messages. The more that a client receives Tao Hands or traces, the more quickly the negative messages transform to positive messages. So I want to introduce our second special guest. So Monique, I already mentioned, was named not Qigong, sorry, that's Master Sha. Monique was named Tao Hands Practitioner of the Year, Health Professional. Our next special guest was named also Qigong Master, Tao Hands Master of the Year. You know why this is in my head? Because I recently had to take an exam and I had to had to memorize Master Sha's biography. Now it's in my head. Okay, so he's also Tao Hands Practitioner of the Year, Master Teacher. And as I mentioned, Dheeraj is actually in India. But I learned something interesting. We sent out a mass email today, and Dheeraj, because he had an Italian accent, I could hear it, but I thought I must just be hearing it, right? It can't be really there. Except he's an Italian language specialist, and he studied and worked in Italy. So what I was hearing was correct. So he actually ended up studying and working in Italy and working for large corporations there. But he's back in India, and I want to invite him to join us. He has been practicing healing for over 20 years. And I want to welcome Dr. Dheeraj Huria. He was also, actually something I didn't mention, he's also a doctor of naturopathy. So welcome, and please explain, how did you end up in Italy? How did you become an Italian specialist? I was so fascinated by that.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with you and become a part of this wonderful session. I was so immersed in that I was just listening without moving even, because Tao Hands and listening just to Master Sha, what all he brings to humanity at this special time and where we are going on right now, in the change of different things happening for us, and in all this, how to still be in that condition where we can support ourselves and others. So sorry, the first question you asked me was like how I ended up in learning something about Italian.
How did you end up studying, becoming an Italian language specialist? And then I'll ask you about what you're doing with Tao Hands because I want to know. You know, you're presenting Tao Hands to doctors, so. But I want to get to. I want to know how did, because I was so fascinated by that when I heard that on the interview with David, uh, uh, David Lush last week or a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes. So it was, I think, now more than almost 20, 21, 22 years ago that I want to learn some foreign language. And when I went, uh, I just need to choose which one to go for. And somehow Italian was the one which resonated. I wanted to go further in that. And then that's how I learned. And in fact, I almost became a teacher there also in university in Delhi. And because I was going to Italy for some time, studying there, doing the specialized courses in that one. And in fact, I did take some classes in Delhi University for Italian language course. And but then I moved, not just remaining there. And I loved because the culture, Italian culture and Indian, which I found that some of the roots were almost same, and somehow it was uh, the Italian language was also apart from the other languages in India which we have. I speak few of them, and Italian was also resonating with me. So that's how I continued with the learning and then practicing, and then I got an opportunity to work with few corporations, and then uh, got chance to be instrumental in bringing the collaboration with few companies, whether they were wanted to set up a base in India, and Indian companies who wanted to set up base in Italy, and that's how I started working, collaborating with them. And it was a great joy. It was a great learning every time something, because every time a new field was open up, but it was not just the field or the aspect where they wanted to set up some business or something, but from each different variety of work which was happening through these companies, I learned from the people, whether from India or from other places. It was amazing learning for me. So it enriched my life a lot in that way.
Beautiful. Now I know. Now I know where your business acumen comes from. It came from your experiences. Beautiful. Okay, so how did you get started? You said that your I think you said that the first modality you studied was yoga. Yes.
Yeah. So that happened for me, I think from the age of 10. And my father used to go to yoga ashram. Ashram is a monastery kind of thing. So generally speaking, when it was a vacation time or summer vacation or the other vacation or whenever I used to get chance, many hours I used to be there in that yoga ashram, interacting with people, learning something from them, from each one, those who were teaching there. And I used to enjoy that and practicing with them. So that's how I started learning about yoga. And then not only that, I saw that with yoga also people were getting happier and healthier, and they were able to transform many things which before involving themselves with yoga, they were not able to do on their own. So that's how I went into yoga, field of yoga.
So you know what's interesting is the bar was already high. The bar was already, because you know, if people are coming into yoga and they're able to transform things that they couldn't do otherwise, already the bar is high. Then you studied other modalities. You studied Reiki. I also heard that you were a teacher of pranic healing.
Yeah.
Doctor of naturopathy. Yeah.
Yes, and apart from that, there were a few other things like sujok and flexology, and I did learn traditional Chinese medicine, learning about the special points in the body, and I was not aware that I'm going to be studying that one more. And that learning happened for me approximately 18 years ago. And then teacher in pranic also, like it was amazing experience with the Reiki and also Sujok. Everything was working powerfully. And that was amazing. I started experimenting with everything, like for even for naturopathy, and where if I go through some challenge, and generally if it's taking for other people and all, sometimes for me, if I'm not doing anything else, maybe 1 week or 10 days, with just with the nature, 1.5 day, I was becoming just experimenting on myself, whether it's working or not working, whether it's just it in the books or it's exact, absolutely working on myself. And if it was working for me, then I was more convinced, happy, and then to bring it to people as well.
Beautiful. Okay, so when did you meet Master Sha? When did you start? When did you get introduced to his teachings? And then I want to find out, when did you become a master? When did you become a Tao Hands practitioner? Yeah.
It was in one of the introduction session. It was, I think, 2013. That was the first I came to know about Master Shah. And then when I learned that how powerful it is, even if whatever I was doing, it was so powerful, so many miracles were happening with that. But when I learned and experienced, the amazing was immediately in the first session, experienced so much. I said, no, this is unique, so much powerful and quick. That was the immediate thing happening. It was quicker than whatever I was doing before, much, much quicker, faster. And actually, it was touching the issues, maybe we can say, on a much deeper level. And I think that was the same year, 2013, when I also received Dow Hands.
Oh, beautiful. That's also what I have heard from other practitioners. And Monique, Monique, do you want to talk about that? I think you mentioned to me that one of the very first cases you mentioned to me was a client who, in 3 sessions, something changed in the relationship. And what I think I remember you saying as well was that you were seeing much faster transformation in your clients. Yes, Monique?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have this in common in our practices. And that is what is so astonishing, particularly when people have been suffering for so long and then they've been searching for answers. And then you do a transmission of Tao hands, and something inside just like it's almost like um, it's almost like putting oil on the fire. Psh, the fire suddenly explodes inside, and they feel it sometimes. And even today, I had a client. Wow, the cheeks completely red, the heat in the body. It's like an explosion of light that was waiting to be awakened. And that's what I like so much. It ignites something inside that was dormant quickly. 1, 2 sessions, and there's a big transformation. Thank you, Jimena, for your question.
Well, I think the way that Master Sha would explain that is that there is we carry a lot of pollution. We carry a lot of negative messages. And what the Tao Hands is doing is literally clearing the negative messages. That releases a lot of energy, but it also brings in a lot of energy um, to the person. So yeah, thank you, Monique. Very powerful. So Diraj, so how then? So you become a Tao Hands practitioner in 2013, and then what happened next? I want to hear what happened for you next.
So there were so many transformations which were happening around me because I was already in the field of healing almost more than 20 years actively. And but the transformation with Tao Hands which was happening was amazing. And sometimes it was hard to comprehend what is happening, how it's happening. So if you talk about, like, I give an example of as I talked about my talent background and how I worked with them. So one of my friend who's an engineer who came to India for a pretty long time to set up something, and one of the evening, just in the initial phase when he came, I went to meet him one evening, and he was having lot of, I'm giving this one as kind of what happened with him immediately. Sometimes when people they do not believe it still, then we should not give up. We should continue. It's working. Would you like to try? So he was having issue with his stomach, and he told me that he has taken medicine in the morning, in the afternoon, but no result. And I asked him. I warned him because I know that he loved eating Indian food, but I told him go slow because the spices are different, eating habits are different. So go slow here. I know because I also love Italian food, but when I authentic one when I'm there. But when you're here, go slow so that you can maintain, allow your digestive system to absorb what you want to do. But he just without control, and and even the medicine was not helping. So I asked him. I explained a little bit about Tao Hands, and I asked, "Can I offer you some help in this?" He said, "No." He was because skeptical. He was saying, "What is talking about offering healing without? I'm taking medicine. Nothing is happening. What is going to do without?" He's telling me he's not going to give anything to eat, not going to touch. What is going to do? So he was skeptical. He said, "No, I'm okay with medicine." I said, "Okay, no problem." And day after, again before the lunchtime, when I was with him, again he was still holding his stomach. Asked him, still the same issue, even more. The same day also, like he took medicine, no effect. So again I explained him that. Then he said, okay, he was okay to receive Thou Hands blessing. So just few minutes, he closed his eyes, offering. I was offering him a Thou Hands blessing, and within few minutes, when the blessing session was over, his face expression changed because when you're tense, you can see like what is happening on your face level also. And when it was over, he was smiling. He was so happy, and he couldn't believe what happened in few minutes. And that after that incident, towards the evening, he asked me if I was able to do something for his wife who was in Italy that time. So I said, why not? And the same evening, we set up something video conference call for his wife, and then I explained to her also. I told her all the few things you will be doing there, and then better to like as we talk about self healing practices to self empower her also. She was so happy to learn about them. She was open, and for next 15 days, I was offering the Tao Hands blessing. And the issue for her was that she was going through a lot of pain in her spine, and every 1 or 1.5 months she's required to take injection in her spine. Otherwise, she was not able to function day-to-day activities. She was not able to do anything. But after receiving this one for 15 days, in which I missed for 2 days, I informed her also. So in 13 days, she was absolutely fine. She told me also that she was fine, and I asked her, "Would you like to send me a written testimony?" So, but she did. She said yes, but she did not send. After 2 months, fine day, she sent me and she called me also. The reason she gave that she wanted to check whether it's still working or it was just for the time being. So as she's Italian, she didn't know English, so she sent me that one written some testimony in Italian. And it was beautiful how she explained that how she went to different doctors and everything. But again, when she came here in few sessions like these 15 days, how she became all right. So that was amazing. Sometimes, as a practitioner from different fields, we can combine Tao Hands. Dr. Monique beautifully she is combining that her practice with the Tao Hands, and I many times for the naturopathy one when I'm giving, especially from that background, somebody's coming up, I'm able to combine that, and the transformation become quicker, faster, deeper layer. So it is very very powerful what happens with Tao Hands. Sometimes. Uh, you do not have to wait for long. Sometimes you have to wait for a few sessions, more sessions. So yeah, that's. I think I went too much in saying about the answer.
But that's beautiful though. Now because you have so different you have practiced so many different modalities, then you're able to really speak to what credibly speak to what what is occurring, for your clients, how you're blending Tao Hands. So can you share with us, I saw in the video that you presented Tao Hands to a group of Western medical doctors. And I was just, that fascinated me of everything that was in the video. I was like, okay, I want to hear, what was their response? I saw that, I heard your explanation or the story about the doctor who came in who had the headache. But I want to know, aside from her personal transformation, then what happened? Did these doctors, are they going to become Tao Hands practitioners? Are they, was that what you were hoping would happen with them?
Yeah, thank you for asking this question as well, because now, first I'll talk about that group. We started serving there, as that was a huge opening, and actually that was an acknowledgement of Tao Hands, what Tao Hands can do. That was an acknowledgement also for the founder of Tao Hands, Master Shah, what he's bringing to humanity at this special time on Mother Earth. So how these doctors, when they were there, they listened to the presentation, and as one of the doctor who came, and she told me that she's, because of the courtesy, because of the head, he told her, the main director of that actually it was for the cancer ward. They were dealing in the cancer and treating people, and so when she came, she told me that she's there especially to take some medicine because she couldn't handle that headache she was having. And her bag was by chance in that room where we were having this conference or the presentation of Tao Hands with other doctors. And when she came, and then she said only 5 minutes, so I said, okay, instead of I go through all, because you don't have much time, why don't you experience Tao Hands blessing then? Special, I said, why don't you experience that instead of listening to it, because you don't have time? So with her, many other doctors, they received the blessing. They were amazed, and that is another acknowledgement what Tao Hands can do. And it was in 2019, and actually that was the one that we were supposed to go further with teaching many techniques and talking more about Tao Hands, not only to the doctors but also to the staff and nurses, those who were there in the hospital. It was one of the top hospital in India, and especially in the post cancer care ward. So many people, they were still coming. They even put us with the contact with some of the post cancer care ward, where we were able to interact with the patients, those who were coming there. But because we all of know that 2020 the pandemic thing started, so the in-person visits were closed. We were not able to go. So whenever the situation is becoming a little better, should be able to restart that one. But having said that, I would like to say that now many doctors, they are taking up Tao Hands. Not that from that group. Recently, many doctors, many professors in different fields, they are taking up Tao Hands. People from different fields, from business, from homemakers, from any other different field, they are just getting more and more aware, and they are taking Tao Hands.
Okay, that is amazing. That is amazing. Congratulations to you. And there is a team. There are several teams in India, but beautiful. I could ask you lots of questions, but I want to bring our next guest, and then we will be doing a demo. So we will be asking everybody to apply to be a demo in the live stream chat. And you will need to share with us a little bit. I have back pain. It's a 10 out of 10. I've had it for 10 years. I've had it for 25 years, whatever. So we do need a little bit of information. Just putting I want to be a demo isn't going to give us enough information. So you can start applying to be a demo. You can start applying now. So let me bring our next guest. So Gina, actually, she sent me is one of our newest Tao Hands practitioners. She just became a Tao Hands practitioner literally 2 months ago. And yeah, so she's been a nurse for 10 years. 3 of those were in the ER in a trauma center. And recently she's been off of work due to stress and anxiety. And that's how she came across Tao Hands for Tao Hands and Master Sha's teachings. So she became a Tao Hands practitioner in April and has experienced tremendous transformation in her life and in her relationships. I spoke with her today. Wow, she gave me goosebumps at one point. So, Gina, can you unmute yourself, join us? So if you unmute yourself and then speak, you'll be on the camera. And then share with us. I want you to share first, share your story of transformation that happened with the forgiveness practice, because that's very powerful. Yeah? Welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much. I am so grateful and honored to be here. Thank you so much. So the first story I will share today is a transformation between my father and I, the relationship of my father and I. We became estranged about 8 months ago. And initially, when I first got introduced to Tao healing and meditation, I was in no shape or form to forgive anything from anybody. The forgiveness practice was introduced to me by my mentor. And I was able to incorporate the forgiveness practice for a few weeks. And it was really hard for me during this time because it was very lonely, and it affected my relationship with my family, and my family is, as among a lot of other cultures, is very important to me. And so just by incorporating the forgiveness practice and asking my father's soul to join me in meditation, I was slowly able to open up to the idea of forgiveness. And so just about, I want to say about just 3 weeks ago, out of the blue, after not communicating for 8 months, he texts me and he asks to get together. And after 8 months, I was actually okay with that. And fast forward 3 weeks, I now have a great relationship with my father. We actually spent the whole day together just yesterday. And my whole life, you hear people, brag about their relationship with their father. I love my dad, and I always had, just this like a sadness because I didn't have that. I never experienced that. I didn't know what that was like. And now I can say that, I have a great relationship with my father. I actually enjoy hanging out with him. I have a friend in my family. I didn't realize what I was missing until I started to have a great relationship with my father, and it's beautiful. I am just so grateful for this modality of healing relationships. And it has completely transformed our whole family, actually. I'm just so grateful for this practice. I really, really am. It's very powerful, very powerful.
So that's beautiful. I think when I spoke with you earlier today, the thing that really moved me was when you said, I never thought it was possible to have a friend in my family that I could hang out with and enjoy each other's company. I knew that there was the possibility to have a parent, right? To have mother, father, other family members, but to have your parent literally be your friend, where you can thoroughly enjoy each other's company, that I think is really extraordinary. So congratulations on that. That's beautiful. That is really, really beautiful. So as I shared with you, we hear a lot about relationships in the work that we do. My own family and I were estranged for 30 years, but doing practices and the field, the calligraphy field that we talk about, the Tao calligraphy field, you know, the transformation is extraordinary. 30 years, no communication. Suddenly, you know, let's talk, oh, you know, for Christmas and New Year's. And yeah, it's the impossible is possible in the Tao calligraphy healing field. It really is. Yeah, right? Okay, so you have another story that I thought was equally impressive. So do you want to share that one? Yeah.
Sure. So this second story involves my mom. So my mom recently hurt her back. She was able to recover from that, and then she spontaneously started having severe 7 out of 10 pain in her her left knee. And it was a really interesting experience for me as well, specifically because I'm a healthcare worker. And so she went to her family doctor. She did all the things that you do when you have knee pain. She went to her family doctor. He prescribed her medication, which is often the solution in Western medicine. I know this because I've been doing it for 10 years. So he gave her medication. It helped to a degree, but her pain was still very uncontrolled. It had gone to a point where she had used up all her sick time and all her vacation time because she couldn't go back to work, and she was having trouble putting weight on that knee. And she had 3 activities that were the most painful. So going from sitting to standing was a 7 out of 10, walking was a 7 out of 10, and then the worst one was going down the stairs, also 7 out of 10. And so in terms of like Western medicine, the only solution that they had left at that point, it was to get an MRI and potentially put her on narcotics, which she was really not a big fan of. And I had done Tao Healing Hands blessing for her several times before, and her pain would always get better, but it was one session and sometimes would come back. And so I suggested that maybe I could do a blessing for her, but for like an extended period of time, like actually focus on just the knee. Which she was very apprehensive because I grew up in a very conservative Christian background. So she was apprehensive, but realized we really had no choice, and I really did feel powerless to help her, because even as a healthcare worker, even if I work in a hospital, there's really nothing that I can do to take the pain away or do anything else. And so she agreed. I asked my pendulum how many sessions we would need. I got 8. So we did 8 sessions for 8 days, one session per day. And I got her to record her numbers before and after each session. And so with each session, her pain would get better and it wouldn't come back. So it first started with walking. Walking got much better very fast. By the end of the sessions, she only rated it a 2 out of 10, which is amazing. And then slowly the sitting from sitting to standing went down from a 7 again out of 10 to again a 2, 3 out of 10. And then going down the stairs, we were able to bring it down to a 3. And so I can't describe to you how it feels to be able to help your family members. I don't think I need to describe it to you. I think you really know. But just to go from a place to be powerless, even as a, even as a healthcare worker, it's a hard hit to know that you can't do anything to help your family. And so this modality has given me just a way to help people in a way that I was also able to help people as a nurse, of course. But this was different. This goes beyond the limitations of the medical system, if you will. So it was, and just seeing the relief on her face and her being able to go back to work. And she was just so grateful, and I'm so grateful. And it's really, really, and those are only two stories of how Tao Hands has completely transformed myself and the relationships around me. It's I'm not going back. That's for sure.
So thank you so much. So beautiful. So beautiful to hear, yeah? Let me, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally, I need to see the post, but I don't need to hear the video from the live stream, just to make sure I mute that. Okay, so that's really beautiful. You know, when I spoke with you today, what I realized is what you just said right now, how helpless you felt. You know, after I spoke with you, I was like, wow, you know, she's a nurse. How helpless you felt, that here's your mom. And what you said to me was, not only did she use up all of her sick days, but she basically was just sitting on the couch because there wasn't any activity that didn't cause her pain. So her life got very small. Her life got really small very quickly. And that's painful. That's painful to watch that happen to a loved one. Yeah, so again, this is what is the beauty of the Tao Hands, is the power comes from the source, and we can offer a blessing to someone, or in your case of your mother, 8 Tao Hands blessings, and immediately 8 days, you know, she's moving around, right? She's doing things, she's walking around, and yeah. So you're gonna have to speak, otherwise the camera doesn't go on you.
Yeah, since then she's been able to go back to work and go for walks, and all those things were limited. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so Dr. Monique, Gina, and Dr. Diraj Hura will offer our demo person, who is Jean McGregor. She has edema in her legs many years, and that's getting progressively worse. No pain. Edema is swelling. So maybe Gina, you could explain that better than I can. I only know what I read on the chat, because I'm not a medical professional, so I can't explain it. But if you can, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, of course. So edema is basically a fluid that's collected in your lower extremities, most commonly your legs. It can be caused from many things, including heart issues or kidney issues. And because of gravity, living on Earth, usually when you're standing, or usually even sitting, or any activity really, your legs are the lowest part of your body. And so a lot of times edema collects in your legs. It can get very limiting with mobility. It can cause a lot of pain. It's a very uncomfortable and unfortunately very common issue that happens for many reasons.
Okay, so Jean, close your eyes. I'm going to guide you through this. You close your eyes, put your feet flat on the ground if you can, back straight, away from the chair. You know, I have plenty of space between the chair and my back. And put your mind in your first chakra, the root chakra. And silently, you know, make a request for the healing. Make a request for the healing of the edema. And I see that Gina, Dr. Diraj, and Dr. Giard have all connected with their Tao hands. So go ahead, Gina, and you say Tao hands blessing begins.
Dear Tao Source, dear my Tao Source hands, please give Jean a blessing for her Demetis legs as appropriate. Please begin.
And this will be a silent, this will be silent from them. And Sarah, is she still with us? She's not with us.
Yes, I am here, Jimena.
Okay, good. So third eye, what do you see? Thank you. And remember, all three of them are offering, so you may see different, they may have different levels, you may see different fields. Can you do a simultaneously share what your the images?
Yes, thank you very much. What I saw initially was that the Tao golden light from Gina's hands, from Dr. Dheeraj, and from Dr. Monique came in, first of all, to around the ankles area of Jean. And it started moving the light in the way that you might see water boiling in a test tube with a Bunsen burner underneath it. I could see all the golden bubbles first down at the base of the ankles and moving up. And I see that for Jean, she has two areas of blockage. One is, they're kind of front to back. One is in the lungs area, and one is at the back in the wide jaw, sort of across from the lungs at the back. And these two blockages are preventing the chi channel from flowing properly. And so the fluids in the body have no option except to stay where they are accumulating. And I see that these two blockages are also related to especially at the front in the one in the area of the lungs, related to ancient sadness and grief, which needs to be transformed, both from this life and from other lifetimes. So the Tao light is bubbling up, bubbling up, bubbling up, and moving, opening, moving through the chi channel and around the wide jaw. These blockages are substantial and have been there for quite some time, but the Tao light bubbles are clearing this passage away. And Jean, the light is moving much, much better now. Thank you very much. This is what I see so far with the Tao hands.
Thank you, Sarah. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, and Mark?
Okay, I'm going to do a little switch so you can see me.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share. So it's really amazing with Tao hands. I saw right away a field of light that came around her, because all three were offering that service. And much like what Sarah already mentioned, was I could see the blockages in the body. And as the light was coming in, it was actually moving into those areas. Also, the other thing to note was there is there's a deeper message with a lot of the blockages that were here that kind of move into previous experiences, and that was relating to the symptoms that were happening in the feet area that I also started to see. And as the light kept coming in, it's starting to shift this area. So the energy is starting to flow around much easier, much smoother. And with that, there's also a release. It's like there's going to be some joy in the heart. I feel that kind of coming up. So I feel that she will start to express more joy. So it's not just working on the physical body, but also working on the emotions, which is where some of this is being released as well. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. Okay, beautiful. So 1 more minute of beautiful light coming in. And you can actually see her channel. Her chi channel is beginning to flow. But I saw the same thing that Sarah did. I saw the blockage in the Waijiao, which is the biggest space in the body. It's in front of the spinal column. It's the cranial cavity all the way down to the base of the body and the width of the torso. And that space that where Sarah mentioned behind the lungs, quite blocked. Yeah. So I was waiting to see if it cleared. So when Mark said, yeah, it'll clear. So that's also, the clearing will affect her heart chakra. How? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So we'll give Jean a few minutes. I know Monique has a very powerful third eye, and she always is able to see. So do you want to share, Monique? Dr. Giard, do you want to share what you saw?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, a lot happened already that was described in the Chi Channel and Waijiao, and the heart. It went deep into the heart also too. And I saw, the explosion in the heart of old messages, old messages. And what happens when the heart is being affected by these emotions or ancient past lives, even all the meridians in the body that are receiving the finest nutrients from the nourishment of Tao De, goes right into the final, very fine meridians of the body, everywhere, all the way. And as it starts receiving the light, it vibrates even more. And as the way Sarah described those bubbles, they are like tiny bubbles, and they are opening up meridians and lines of circulations in the body. And so as the heart is pumping happier, it goes in all the extremities, all the way to the fingertips, all the way down to the toes, and from skin to bone, the whole body receive the nutrients, and all the fine circulation, all the vessels opened up to receive, so the circulation will be better. And the joy and more activity, being active is really good. And the person will feel more inclined to be active, physically active as well, and enjoying the outdoor more with this new sense of freedom. So congratulations, congratulations, Jean.
Beautiful. I saw the same. I saw that. That what happens is it looks like the blood vessels, like they plump up, like they plump up like they're brand new. Like they're brand new. They're not shriveled. They're not collapsed. They're pumped up, and literally the color. You could see the colors changing inside the body. Very powerful. So let me just ask, I don't know, Gina or Dheeraj, if you, either one of you has third eye that you want to share. If you don't, that's okay too. My third eye opens sometimes and it doesn't open other times. So Gina or Dheeraj?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity to offer this, serve this beloved one. Yes, I could see that so much of fire and water effect happening together for the area of request. And as it was getting transformed in the fire, the blockages, they were getting transformed. And at the same time, immediately that heavenly water as falling and making that effect go away, and then bringing more smooth and cool effect for the area of request. And so much was happening, not only just for the area of request, is going beyond to the other parts, as it's also for the prevention. It's not for just the healing, it was the prevention also for different areas where could have been some other issue, but it was also that it was transforming the message in different areas apart from the area of request. So that's I could also see. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, huh? Yeah. I saw the same thing you did. The fire in the fire in the water, and you know, this is what I think all of you have mentioned, is that the transformation is on a different level. The transformation that is happening for people is beyond what we normally know or experience or see. And it's almost hard to even describe sometimes the third eye images. So I just want to read what Jean posted. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I am feeling so grateful. Many tears, many tears. I am so looking forward to being able to feel joy. How beautiful to be able to experience joy. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the blockage in the heart and you cannot feel joy? So Jean, you know I will follow up with you because I want to make sure that if you need another Tao Hands blessing, that we support you, because I want to make sure you can experience joy. That would be extraordinary to be able to bring that into your heart. So let me ask anything final that you would like to say, Diraj? I'm fascinated by the fact that you've trained over 100 Tao Hands practitioners. I just find that astonishing. Yeah. So any words of advice or anything that you want to say to people who are watching this?
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. So for the Tao Hands practitioners as well, many times when we go through some challenge, we forget that we have Tao Hands. That's what happens. And we need to remember that, because I've seen that when we remember that, the transformation becomes very much possible, and many times quicker way. Sometimes it may take some time, but we just need to remember we have Tao Hands. We can use them. I have used them, and not only myself, many of the students, those who have learned, they have used Tao Hands recently in many of the cases, like where first urgency was there. But it doesn't mean that we are not going to the medical practitioner. We must go there. We should not avoid or neglect that part. But there are many situations. For example, like in a flight, I have experienced that one many times now. Traveling in air, what else you can do? Very limited options are there. Sometimes no option is there. Use Tao Hands. I have gone through that one, and within few minutes the change is there. And so that moment, do not forget that we have Tao Hands. And sometimes if it's taking long, we need to have patience. And I can say to those who are watching, those who are still not Tao Hands practitioners, sometimes we think that, okay, we'll think over it. But at the moment, if there was a calling coming from you that you would like to be one, go ahead and be one, so that we together and you yourself, when you become new Tao Hands practitioner, can bring so much of transformation, not just for you, not just for your family members, but everyone you meet. As I was sharing just about, like in the flight, in the air, how can you serve? This is one of the way. All other options are closed sometimes. Sometimes they say, any doctor on the flight? No one comes up. You are there. That's what happened. And that's the biggest acknowledgement for what you can do and for Tao Hands. And that's a few things I would like to say then. Thank you, Master. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful calling to everybody to really open your heart. And if you are not yet Tao Hands, we have a global Tao Hands training that is happening July 9th through the 11th. So if our team could please post those links on the live stream, I would be very grateful for you to do that. And Gina, any last words?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I have something to say about that. Actually, I will share one thing that has really started myself on this journey, and that is being somebody in healthcare, especially. I have grown up for the last 33 years to approach things from a logical point of view, to try to understand things, and this is the only way for me to go ahead and proceed through something. And it was a barrier for me to really dive into Tao Hands. And if you're thinking about becoming a Tao Hand healer practitioner, I hope that you are able to open your heart and open your mind, because that's really what really has changed things for me. Don't try to understand it. You're not going to understand it. Just open your heart and have faith, because that was the shift for me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us on such short notice, and congratulations again on, the amazing transformation. Our family is so important to us. And when we don't have it, that void, for you to not only get your family back, but to get it back in such a richer, more powerful way, I'm very, very happy for you. Very happy. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you for being a Tao Hands practitioner. And Dr. Giard, any last words?
Yes, thank you for asking. Well, if you're a parent and you have children suffering, many children are suffering, and the pandemic has been really difficult around the world, and it works beautifully with children. And you can really help your family, your relatives. And, when people are referred to me and children are suffering, they're hiding in their room, they have social anxiety, it breaks my heart. And you may have seen the video how it really helped my son, and it can help so many people. So many people are suffering, and you can be that healer for your family. You can be that healer for your children, grandchildren, and many generations. And it transforms a pattern that may be inherited at the soul level. And I say to people sometimes, and that's why they want to become Tao Hands practitioner, you're making a huge difference. You're stopping the misery right here. And it's not going to go down the generations. It stops with you, and you are a healer, and the rest of your family can benefit from the transformation at a deep, deep level. So thank you for asking the question, Jimena.
Oh, thank you, Monique. Wow. You know what Monique just said, Dr. Giard just said, is so powerful. You don't have to be a healthcare professional thinking I'm going to have my own health, I'm going to have my Tao Hands clinic, and I'm going to be able to see clients every day. To be able to help your family, to be able to, in the moment, the other night I cut my finger. And this is actually exactly what Monique is talking about. It is ancestral. It is ancient. Why? I cut the other hand a few months ago. The first time it was so deep, I should have gone to the emergency room, because it was at least an inch, and it was deep. I mean, there was blood everywhere. What did I do? I said, I'm not going. I used Tao Hands. I'm not advocating this, but I did this. I don't even have a scar, not even a scar, nothing. I cannot find where it was cut. And it was the middle of the night. So in those moments, Tao hands can be very, very, can be literally a lifesaver, right? My neighbor came, helped me, brought some Band-Aids, but it was the Tao hands that every day, Tao hands, Tao hands, Tao hands, that helped me. We can do this for our loved ones. We can do this for our families. We can do this for all of our extended families. So let me just see what's happening. Okay, so I call you to join us. I call you to join us. So I call you to join us July 9th through the 11th. It is 2 days and 1 evening. So the 9th is from 6, well, it's actually Eastern time. So it'll be 3 to 6 your time, 3 to 6 our time on the West Coast. And then it will be during the day, 10 a.m. to, it will be 10 a.m. East Coast time, which is 7 a.m. our time, to 3 p.m. So I invite you to register, apply. You must apply. This program requires an application. So please apply, and you'll hear back from Tao Academy, and then they will notify you, and you will then have 4 follow-up classes that lead up to an examination. There's a book called Divine Healing Hands that you can get on Kindle, and you can read the book on Kindle. Then you'll do the examination, and I think we'll be supporting you if you're on the West Coast in BC. We will be supporting you with 4 weekly classes. So it would be our honor to have you join the community of Tao Hands practitioners that are part of the global community, and apply. If you have any questions, please connect with us directly at Tao Center Vancouver. So I'll ask the team to post that, Tao Center Vancouver at drsha.com. And, or better still, you can send it to Tao Hands BC, Tao Hands, B as in boy, C as in cat, at drsha.com. So I want to thank our guests. I want to thank Dr. Diraj. I want to thank Dr. Monique, and I want to thank Gina. And thank you to the team. Thank you to everybody who has joined us. And please join us next week. We have another very special guest that will be with us next week. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.